A question you guys keep asking me is, Corbin, what are your favorite accessories for the new 2025 Ioniq 5? So in today's video, I'm going to tell you some of my favorites. So my first favorite accessory for the new 2025 Ioniq 5 is going to be this license plate adapter. So you'll notice that the license plate sits right above this crease in the bumper. Well, prior to utilizing this adapter right here, this was dangling down like all the way down here. Looked really weird. There was a big gap behind it. So I found this adapter on Amazon. It installs super easily. It's 2 bolts to put the adapter plate on and then 2 bolts to mount the license plate to it. And it solves a really weird design issue with the new 2025 Ioniq 5. This is only about 10 or 12 bucks, depending on if you catch it on sale. But I think it makes the back bumper look much better, much cleaner, and just all around better looking. So my next favorite accessory are going to be these cheap little light-sensitive LED lights. And all these are going to do is add some light to the center console here, to this area down here in the front of the Ioniq 5, or even in the back seat. So all you do is plug them in. There's a button on the top where you can change the color. They're not going to turn on right now because it is daytime. I'll put in some clips here of them in the dark. You can choose your color, and then they're on at night and they're off during the day, and they just brighten up this whole general area. I believe a 2-pack was about 8 bucks, so pretty cheap and adds some nice ambiance. One of the nicest additions to the 2025 Ioniq 5 is the manual battery conditioning mode button. So basically when your battery is cold, you need to heat it to get fast charging speeds when you're DC fast charging. So all you do is hit that button to activate, and you'll see there it says low right now because it's a little cold out. Once it reaches a proper temperature, it will say, I believe, adequate or normal. I can't remember. But there's really no way to know exactly what that temperature is. Hyundai does not give you that information for whatever reason. And the easiest and best way to do that is going to be with one of these OBD2 dongles. This runs on Bluetooth and it will connect to your iPhone or your Android phone. You can view the data from the car through CarPlay or Android Auto. So down here by your left foot, you just plug that in. If you've got it already set up, it will automatically connect to CarPlay. Then all you have to do is have an app on your phone called Car Scanner. You open that up, hit connect, takes a second to connect. Then you can go to dashboard, Bjorn style, scroll down a little bit. There's your battery minimum temperature and your battery maximum temperature. These are 2 critical numbers to know when you are road tripping in the winter time. You want that battery minimum to be at least 70 degrees to get full charging power. So if you are road tripping, you're not using the built-in route planning, you can go ahead and use that manual battery conditioning button. And then when you go back to CarPlay, go into Car Scanner, you can watch that temperature go up, and then you'll always know what your battery temperature is. I really wish that we didn't have to do this. I really wish Hyundai would just tell us a readout there, just say what it is, say what it should be, and how much longer it's going to take to get there. So if you have one of these, you'll never be questioning what temperature your battery is at ever again. I did shoot a whole video on how to get this set up and running, so I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in finding out how to do that. These are about 22 to 25 bucks. This V-Peak is my favorite. It's good for all sorts of other stuff like doing 0 to 60 tests, checking your battery capacity and such. You can also see cool things like your remaining battery capacity. Right now I'm at 61%. You can see I've got 47.1 kilowatt hours. The battery voltage. There's all sorts of different screens here. You can view all sorts of data. It's really cool if you're a big EV nerd and you like seeing all this kind of stuff. Here under the armrest is another one of my favorite accessories. This one is from Spigen. You might know them. They make phone cases, but for some reason, I don't know if maybe their owner has an Ioniq 5 or something, they started making accessories for cars, and they have this really nice little organizer for the Ioniq 5 armrest. Fits perfectly, no wiggle room at all. It's lined with these little rubber silicone mats, so if you do have something in there metal, it's not going to rattle around or anything. All around, really nice. You do pay a little bit of a premium because it is a name brand, but I think it is worth it. Just looks really nice. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, I do make a lot of my own accessories on my 3D printers for the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, all the cars in Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis's lineup. So for the new Ioniq 5, I've got my cup holder enlarger. If you're into big 40-ounce water bottles, I have this cup holder enlarger that allows you to put a bigger water bottle right here in the standard cup holders. These do not accommodate very big drinks, so this could really open up the possibilities in terms of drinkware. I've also got various sizes here for the rear armrest. You've got small, medium, and large. So no matter the size of your kid's water bottle, they've got a place to keep it. If you do have a 2025 Ioniq 5 without the charging pad right here, I am also making an aftermarket charging pad adapter. So basically this just slips over this silicone cover here, and that kind of keeps it wedged down. Then you just plug in down here in the USB-C port, and you've got a Magsafe wireless charging pad for your iPhone. So this is something new I've been working on. Basically, it's a Apple Magsafe charger, because the standard charging pad here doesn't have Magsafe built into it, so you can't really just toss your phone on it. This also raises your phone off a little bit, so it should allow for more airflow around the device, keeping it cooler and preventing it from overheating as easily. Next up, my magnetic eyewear holders. If you weren't aware, this is a big piece of steel with some fabric on it, and the car doesn't have an overhead bin for storing your sunglasses. So here are my magnetic eyeglass holders. They got powerful magnets on the back. They just sit there. You can take your glasses, pop them on there, and they're gonna stay nice and secure. This is the budget version. This is the normal standard version. If you want your glasses pointing out towards you, here they point away from you. This is recommended for larger glasses. This version here is really good for glasses that have plastic arms. If you have like aviators or something, it's going to sit much better in the budget version. The budget version is available in digital teal as well as black and gray, and this version can be had in all sorts of different colors. Need a place to store your charging adapters? I've got two versions. One here that sits in the trunk area on the left-hand side. It doesn't prevent the cover here from opening. You've got your level 2 J1772 to NAX adapter, as well as your CCS1 to NAX adapter. And then I've also got a version here for the glove box. Very secure, it's not going to rattle around. I've done some pretty extensive testing with it, and people seem to really like it. I find the glove box to be the most convenient, especially for me in an apartment building. I am taking out my J1772 to NAX adapter quite often to charge this car. When you are charging at night, these LED charging indicators can be pretty bright and they flash. So I have this little cover, hook it onto that arm right there, and boom, they're hidden. And when you're not charging, you just stick it right in there, shut the door, and you're good to go. Now, my most popular accessory is going to be the automatic door locking device. So you can see I do not have my key in my hand, and the doors should lock any second now. So what this little device does, it plugs into the trailer light wiring harness located in the trunk. And basically all it does is after it senses the last door of the car is shut, 10 seconds later, it will send a signal to the car to lock all the doors. So you will no longer forget to keep your car locked. And it's really obvious with the Ioniq 5 because the door handles will stick out like that. So kind of sticks out and just asks for attention. So with this little device here, that ain't gonna happen anymore. You can install it in about 15 minutes. Basically, you just pull up this piece of plastic, pull back this piece of plastic trim, plug it in, and you're ready to go. Now, a lot of you have been asking me about floor mats, specifically all-weather floor mats for the new Ioniq 5. I know some manufacturers are gonna have options soon, specifically LinerX said in the next few weeks their mats should be going on sale. Hyundai did change the shape of this lower section here as well as the movable center console. So the floor mat makers have to change their tooling, which is unfortunate for them. So until the other manufacturers get the ball rolling here, you're gonna have to stick with your carpeted floor mats for the time being. Now, tell me guys, does this look like a dash cam? It sure doesn't to me. This is the FitcamX. It is one of my favorite dash cams simply for the fact that it has pretty decent quality, but it also blends in and doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Now, ignore this. This is the mount for my Comma 3X. I don't have that up yet because it's not really working with the new Ioniq 5. But yeah, the FitcamX, I know a lot of Ioniq 5 owners really like it. It is a 4K dash cam. It doesn't have parking mode, but it is really easy to install. You basically slide off this existing shroud, plug this new one in with a wire connector to the front camera module of the car, and then that's how it gets power. And then you've got yourself a dash cam to kind of protect you in case of an accident. Just like with most modern dash cams, it does connect wirelessly to your phone. So you can go ahead and connect to it, and then you can kind of see what it sees. You can kind of see there's my comma 3X mount, kind of blocking some of the view. But you can see all the different files from all the recordings. It is always loop recording whenever you're driving. If you do get in an accident and the officer wants to see the footage, you can just pull it up here on your phone and show them. Hopefully you're innocent. You can download it to your phone if you need to share it, take a screenshot, delete it. I will be putting out a standalone video on how to install this and get it connected to the app, so stay tuned for that. Unfortunately, if you have a version for the 2022 through 2024 Ioniq 5, it will not work here on the 2025. You're gonna have to get the new one. They redesigned this shroud for 2025, so the existing clips on the old one do not match. And for 2025, the front-facing camera does utilize a 12-pin connector. The 2022 through 2024 utilizes a 10-pin connector, so there is a difference there as well. Another one of my favorite accessories, because this car doesn't come with a spare tire, is this. The Modern Spare is a spare tire that is engineered to work with this car. It comes with all the things you need to change a tire on the side of the road. All around, just good peace of mind, especially if you're on a long road trip or something. You might be out in the middle of nowhere where you don't have any other option. If it's not already up, I will have a whole video dedicated to going over everything that comes in this kit, as well as how to mount it onto your car in an emergency situation. As you guys probably know, most new cars do not come with spare tires, so this could really be a godsend when you need it. I kind of learned the hard way when I was down in Apex, North Carolina for the Iona Recharge reopening, and I got a flat tire when I had to head back to New England the next day. I rushed to a tire shop. Luckily, they could squeeze me in, but it did cost me a pretty penny. It was over $300 for one new tire just to get me home because I was selling the car in a couple weeks, and that was just going to be money lost. So I'm really happy to have this. This is coming with me on any road trip I do. It fits conveniently behind this seat section here when you do push them forward, because they do slide forward and backward. So it doesn't really eat into your cargo capacity if you are on a road trip. Obviously, it will limit your passenger capacity in the back seat, but on a road trip for me and my fiance, it's just good peace of mind knowing that I'm going to have this. So last but certainly not least is going to be a vehicle to load adapter to utilize on the exterior of your car. Now, this limited trim as well as the XRT both have an interior outlet, but for SEL and SE, you do not have any outlet. So if you do want to use vehicle to load, you're going to have to get this adapter. I'll have a link in the description to some Hyundai dealers, but basically you just plug it in, pull down this little flap, hit the power switch, and you can plug in an extension cord or whatever you want. You can use something like a leaf blower. If you want to turn it off, just hit that button. Now this will output up to 1800 watts, and for me with my house, this was enough to power basically all the lighting, my boiler when it was cold out to have hot water, the refrigerator, the TV, the modem, everything to live basically pretty comfortably in a power outage. Basically all I did was backfeed my electrical panel with an interlock to keep things safe, and it worked great. We didn't lose power all that much when I was living in my home, but it was good to know that I had a gigantic battery pack that could power the house for 5 or 6 days, depending on how we used that power. And if you guys do want to see a video on how to do that, I will leave a link in the description. So that's going to do it. Those are my favorite accessories for the 2025 Ioniq 5 so far. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more popping up, but those are my favorites at the moment. Let me know down in the comment section if you found some other accessories that you're really enjoying. People really love accessorizing their cars. It's a good way to add some of their own personality and flair to them. So I hope you found something here that you might not have otherwise. If you guys do want to help support my business, buying my accessories is by far the best way to do so. All the accessories of mine that you've seen in this video are 3D printed and designed by myself. I don't have any other employees. It's all done by me. So when you guys do purchase them, I do really appreciate it. Check out the reviews if you have any doubts. I have a lot of positive reviews. I do really pride myself on the quality of my products. I have pretty high quality standards. And just giving you guys the best customer experience as possible. So again, ioniqguy.com. If you're outside of the United States, you can purchase these on my Etsy shop, also linked below. So as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.